Why does it take so long to hear back from clinicians? Y'all, this is one of my favorite questions because it's so nuanced. Okay, so when we say clinicians, we mean basically anybody that is kind of licensed. So that can be a therapist, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, or whoever. And I'm going to whittle it down and and only talk about clinicians in the mental health space. I mean, there's other types of doctors, GI doctors and neurologists and all those folks, but we ain't going to talk about them because this ain't their office hours. It's our office hours. So we're only going to talk about mental health folks. So I want you to always keep in mind the mental health sector is underfunded and has been underfunded for decades. And as a result, our workforce, the mental health workforce, is also understaffed because people don't tend to go into a field where you can't make a living or, pay your bills, because that's generally what you need to do to, get through your day. So anyway, and so as a result of an underfunded, under-resourced, underpopulated sector, the people in the sector are doing the damn thing and doing the best that they can, many of whom are not in the position to be able to kind of triage effectively. So if you look at your big health systems, your Kaiser Permanentes, your Mayo clinics, if you look at your online things like Cerebral and I don't know what the other one is called, I can't remember, Headspace or whatever. They all have big marketing budgets and they have whole departments to sit around and do nothing but answer your phone calls and to touch base with you in the form of salespeople or customer service folks. In the mental health sector, we don't really have that. So even for the big companies, let me rephrase that, the big groups. So like if you're in a group and you have other people working with you, generally you don't have, even then you still don't have the economies of scale to have like a full-time customer service department to answer phone calls 24/7, 365. It's not economically feasible. And as a result, it's going to feel like we're not there. And so I do hear that sometimes when people will call the practice and they'll go, oh my God, I couldn't talk to somebody, or why does it take so long to get back to me, or whatever. Well, it's mostly because A, we have a lot of folks that we're working with. B, we're probably in session working with them because there's only so much of us to go around. And C, the economies of scale don't allow us to have a full-time person sitting there to answer every phone call and email and voicemail and chat feature on the website. So yes, it's going to take a while. What we do in Mindful and what I teach all of my patients is be as patient as you can. Follow the guidelines. So every single person in my practice, we walk through how to get in contact with us, both for kind of urgent stuff as well as kind of normal day-to-day stuff, especially stuff that can, wait a day or two or three. And so if you're in a practice, they should probably be doing that, or they probably have done that, or you just go to the website and they can explain to you exactly what you're supposed to do. Very few outpatient clinics. So outpatient meaning you see that person every month or every 3 months or every 6 months. Very few of those clinics will have an emergency line because we're not set up for that. That would require, again, a different economy of scale, a whole different way of practicing, a whole different way of having a business. And so a lot of practices will say, hey, if you're feeling super bad or you can't keep yourself safe, go to the ER as soon as possible, because they are staffed 24/7, 365. Literally, that's what they do. And so, so when it comes to getting back to you, most clinicians, most practices will do their best. Now, a slew of people are now doing kind of asynchronous messaging, like a patient portal or a texting answering service, like where you can call and leave a message or whatever, and your clinician will get back to you when they can. And that's becoming more and more popular. The hiccup is, because those are so convenient, is that more and more folks are very much starting to use that as like appointments. Hey, I have this kind of really super complicated question. I just want to drop this in your box. Get back to me when you can. See ya. And that's kind of not fair. And what it does, unfortunately, it creates like work creep. So because every therapist, psychiatrist, and otherwise, they don't ever want people to be mad at them. And they also want to answer in a timely fashion. They end up doing a lot of that work during the hours when they should be off. And that just increases the risk of burnout and compassion fatigue. And so, so I'm going to encourage you that if you're a patient or you know of somebody who's a patient, do your best to use the resources that you have to contact your clinician. Please be patient because, yes, everybody in this sector is overwhelmed. The other thing is most mental health folks during the first half of the pandemic, most of us were able to switch to a virtual format and we kept on juggling, right? And so we were able to kind of keep functioning. Well, now that things are kind of quote unquote normalizing, and we're back in the office and, that sort of thing, a lot of therapists are now feeling the effects of everything. And so I wouldn't say they're burning out. It's just everybody is tired. And so that's one more reason to give your therapist, your counselor, your psychiatrist or psychologist, give them some grace as they are navigating their own personal stuff, in addition to all the new stuff coming down the pike. Because COVID and going virtual did not change the fact that we're still underfunded, undersourced, and understaffed. So please be patient. You're awesome. And do what you can with what you got where you are.